Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? So, Bethesda have given us a brand new Inside the Vault blog post right after patch 9 has dropped, and it's giving us more information about the upcoming patch 9.5, which is about 2 weeks out, I believe. But we've also got some updates between now and then as well, and the main focus here is the Purveyor. So, the legendary vending machines have dropped on train stations around Fallout 76 in the last couple of days. It allows you to turn your unwanted legendary items in and get the new legendary script currency back. This is a bit more information on what you can do with that as of next week. So, first things first. Patch 9 this week. And lots of changes, updates, new content, and bug fixes. There were a lot of bug fixes, to be fair. And yes, general request for more feedback as always. That was always the plan, take on the feedback and improve the game over time. Develop as well. So, Purveyor, the interesting stuff. Strike up a deal. If you're a seasoned wasteland explorer, your run-ins with the hooded figures known as mole miners have probably been less than pleasant experiences. Purveyor, however, will be the first of a kind to breach the surface of Appalachia in order to sell weapons and armor to dwellers from a vast stockpile of legendary items. Previously, we had announced that the Purveyor would arrive on May 23rd, but as it turns out, mole miners are exceptionally fast diggers. She's going to arrive a week earlier than expected, and now looking to kick off her grand opening on Thursday, May 16th, so a week today. Awesomeness. Very, very cool looking shot here. The outfit, much less unpleasant than their usual ones. The Purveyor is no ordinary vendor. She deals only in legendary items and only accepts a unique currency called legendary script as payment. You can use exchange machines that appeared at train stations earlier this week to break down legendary items that were collecting dust in your stash into legendary script. Once you've lined your pockets with some script, travel to the previously abandoned train station in Berkeley Springs and find the Purveyor within. So, few people have actually peeked through the windows, and Final Render even managed to actually get inside the place. And some others as well, which is quite cool. It's basically an ordinary train station with a bit of unique decoration. Nothing life-changing in there. There's no vendor in there just yet, but she will doubtless appear on a week today. So we've got another picture here to give you an idea of exactly what she's going to be selling and how it's going to be priced and so on. Take a bit more of a look at that in just a second. For now, the Purveyor has a vast collection of legendary items at her disposal and will allow you to choose whether you'd like to buy armor, melee weapons, or ranged weapons. You can also pick whether your item will have 1, 2, or 3 legendary attributes. Not sure why you'd go for less. However, she doesn't allow buyers to haggle over the exact details of an item and instead will select its legendary attributes at the time of purchase. This means that you will always receive an item that fits the type and star rating you've selected, but its attributes will be decided at random. Additionally, legendary script prices may vary based on the item and the star rating you select. Don't worry if you haven't had a chance to visit legendary exchange machines yet, because they're not going anywhere. Use them whenever you've collected legendary items that you don't want to keep. And yeah, May 16th to go and visit the Purveyor. I imagine there's gonna be queues. We're adding patch 9.5 to our Wild Appalachia lineup in order to bring a repeatable event to the game called Project Paradise. No details, but hopefully we'll get some more of those next week. That should be interesting. And fix a few more bugs. Currently planning to release this on May 21st, which was when the Purveyor was originally going to drop, and we'll have more details about it next week. Cool. So patch 9.5, however, will not include camp display cases, sadly. They're still working on that, they're not ready to release them, and it's penned for the future. However, 9.5 should be the last mainline update in the Wild Appalachia series. So that means that I don't know how much downtime there will be between Wild Appalachia and the upcoming nuclear winter. We've heard very, very little about that. My guess would be at least a month, given how little we have heard. I don't imagine they'll immediately go, right, 2 weeks later, let's start the next series. I think we'd have heard more by now if that was going to be the case. But I'm very interested to see what they've got for us over the summer. So, quite a lot of interesting things in here. Purveyor's looking very, very cool. Very, very glad to see she's going to be arriving a bit early. Hope that means everything's going to work well, but we'll have to see. So looking at this picture, which I'll throw up a larger version for you guys, but I'm going to have to stick with a tiny one. Apparently whoever's doing the trading here has got quite a lot of legendary gear. But Purveyor Murmurga? Don't know, no idea how mole miner nomenclature works. One thing I'm really hoping is that we find out more about their culture, their background, their history fairly soon. Certainly, if you guys know of any quests that actually illuminate the lore of the mole miners a little bit more, I'd love to hear about where those start off anyway. So, yeah. You've got random legendary armor, random legendary melee, random legendary range weapon. All of them either 1, 2 or 3 stars, take your pick. As we can see, the prices go up as well. Based on this, the prices look extremely reasonable. Like 100 for a 3-star legendary. That takes a fair few legendaries to acquire, but not that many. On the other hand, it is randomized, which effectively makes it far more expensive. And I'm not 100% sure what the motivation behind this is. I'd think the reason for keeping it randomized is so that people don't just buy all the same things, and it makes you work for it a bit more rather than just running out, growing what you want, and then never looking for any more. It adds to the lifespan of the content, and it will add a bit more. It'll make things a bit more dynamic, I suppose. If all the obvious choices are available straight away, everybody's just going to grab those, and the other stuff will get untouched. Which will actually close down the number of builds and the amount of variety in the game, so that's probably a good thing. But yeah, at the same time, it does speed things along, but not that much. So it's a mixed blessing. I think this news is probably going to result in a lot more people selling legendary items, particularly good ones that they don't want, through the new player vending system. Because I had a feeling that this was how it was going to work. It was going to be a random roll, and I kind of get why, but I kind of don't. I think it's going to make the Purveyor's presence much less valuable, specifically because you still have that random element in there. I think if you could pick specifically, everybody would be using the Purveyor. That's the other side as well, I suppose. It makes player vending a more interesting thing, a bigger feature. More people are going to take advantage of it for longer, rather than just while it's new right now. Specifically because that way they will actually be able to see what they're getting before they put their hand in the pocket. Of course, prices are going to be higher too, so swings and roundabouts. The other point, of course, is I have no idea when this picture was taken. It could have been quite some time ago for all we know, and there's no details as to whether or not those prices on there are hard and fast set. It could well change by next Thursday. Who knows? I'm guessing probably not. I think Bethesda will probably have thought of that and put out the most recent picture they can. However, take it with a small pinch of salt, I think. This Murmiga's mystery pick thing looks interesting. 65 script for a mystery 3-star. You don't get to choose whether it's armor, weapons, or ranged. That's kind of interesting. I'm hoping there'll be a bias towards particularly useful mods built into the role there, but I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't. But if there is, then rolling for random good 3-star might not be the worst thing ever. Because there's only one way to find out, and I don't think I'm going to have enough legendary script to experiment with it, but that's life. Interestingly, legendary 3-star armor is significantly less expensive than legendary weapons, which is quite cool. It means that at the very least, the Purveyor might be a very efficient way of getting good legendary armor, which is something I'm in dire need of. I need some legendary weaponry as well, but armor definitely. So it might be particularly valuable for that approach. Particularly if you've got a limited set of funds and you need to choose what sort of equipment you're going to go for. Maybe prioritise the armor. You might have, because you'll have a little bit more script and your script will go further, you might get a better chance of getting what you want out of it, or something worth having. So that might be a good way to go if you're on a budget and you're struggling to choose what to pick. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it and hear what you think about why they've gone for the random roll approach. So I think it's mostly to keep things a bit more, keep a bit more variety into the game. So exactly find the right phrase here, clearly. But yeah, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this. As always, I'm going to be jumping in streaming tonight. I'll have a lot of streams coming up actually over the next sort of week and a half or so. So do watch out for those. If you haven't already, do hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you can get notified when I go live and when I upload. Social media links down in the description as well. Do head on over and catch up with me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. And I do hope that was useful and informative. and I will be speaking to you all very, very soon.